All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Todd Browse. Welcome to Open Disruption. There's absolutely nothing to see here except for everything. It is March 5th, 2026. We've got so much to cover in the age of AI. It feels like the world is upside down, and it's only going to get more and more interesting. Please do connect with me. You know how to do it. You know, you're all here. And again, just a reminder, I do teach at the School of Visual Arts, AI for Creatives, Strategies for Success. I'm highly, highly biased, but I think I'm teaching the most important class in the entire university. So please spread the word. Tell your friends that they must take my class if they expect to survive in the age of AI. Marginal cost of cognition and creativity is dropping to $0. That is our North Star. We have to figure out how to navigate that. The smartest person you can hire is not a human. The most creative person you can hire is not a human. All right? Prepare yourselves for that world. The world is the age of Anno Intelligentiae. It's a new age of human history. And what we're seeing is the disruptive innovation model. This is from Clayton Christensen, HBS professor, passed away a number of years. What we are seeing is a disruption from the bottom of the market up. Okay, so this is the entrance disruptive technology trajectory. We are seeing generative AI and AI slop that's getting better and better and better, and it's coming from the bottom of the market and it's taking over the low end. And so the creatives, the top of the people, the smart people, they move to the high end of the market, which is their pursuit of profit. They are pursuing profit. They're making the right decision. They're like, okay, well, we don't need to do the crappy stuff anymore. We're going to focus on the good stuff. This is disruptive innovation. And it does not end well for the incumbents. And in this case, I'm concerned that humans are the incumbents. Hopefully, I'm wrong on this. I mentioned this each week. This is very important. Keep an eye out for these zero-touch agentic AI systems that are maximizing trust. We are really starting to see this grow faster and faster and faster. We've talked about OpenClaw. I still don't recommend anybody use it. I've got a few of them running at the moment in walled off sandbox gardens. They are insane. They keep breaking. I'm doing stuff wrong. But other systems are really capable of maximizing trust. And then the other big thing that keep an eye on is the orchestration layers, these tools and technologies and frameworks and harnesses that are coordinating multiple agents to collaborate, work together, and track their outcomes. There's also like the governance layer of that is very important as well. Yes, AGI is here. It's finally on the cover, or not on the cover, in an article in Nature magazine. We have to understand that this is the world we currently live in. That's it. Also, don't look at the data points. I always make this mistake. It's like, hey, here's a piece of evidence, but we have to pay attention to the trend. Where are we going? How quickly are we getting there? And what is this slope? What is the slope of the change? It's rapidly changing, and most humans are not comfortable with change. It is very scary. Also, don't look at the outliers. Again, I always have to remind myself, like, oh, we're talking about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is an outlier. If we're talking about the music industry, we have to look at the distribution. We have to look at the mean. We have to look at the standard deviation. Okay, and when we fail to do that, we run the risk of making wrong conclusions. So I always have to remind myself, be the data scientist that I always wanted to be. Deep inner Harvard trauma. Also, when the AI is at the 90th percentile and a user is sitting at the 50th percentile, the user, that human, is a student. They're not a supervisor. The AI is smarter than that person. All right. The user is no longer a supervisor, they're a student, and they don't know they're in class anymore. All right. I'm concerned that most of us are in that. Where I want to be is over here. When a user is at the 99th percentile and the AI is sitting at the 90th percentile, that human is called the supervisor, and they are not a student. I'm good friends with a bunch of people who are definitely in this area. I really hope that I'm somewhere in the red. I'm really worried that I'm on the far left portion of this blue. You guys tell me. But the user who outpaces the AI is the actual true supervisor. They know they're running the class. They are the human in the loop because they're going to be driving and controlling all of these agentic AI systems, and they are going to be responsible for their outcome. That is what HITL is. It is about accountability, and keep that in mind. Okay, and a little side announcement. I wrote a paper, a research paper called The Three New Metrics for Assessing Open Innovation, Performance in Research and Development. And I'm honored to say that it was accepted as a poster The paper hasn't been approved for publishing yet, but it's been accepted as a poster at the Henry Chesbrough Festschrift conference in Rome in April. So I will be going to Rome to stand next to my poster and tell the world about what I've done. And I'm really proud of this. I built three metrics for measuring transformation and innovation and another index to help researchers and venture capitalists see where their inventions and where their innovations fit relative to other things that have come before and are in the market. So I'm really proud of this. I anyway, I'm enough of that. Oh, I always forget to do this. So I put this up here first. Let me put the link to all of the links. Most of these are correct. I think I've removed a few. So you have that. It's in the Zoom chat, so you don't have to screen grab any of the things I have. Basically, everything that I'm showing you tonight is in this list right here. So you're all good to go. All right, into the news. Again, if you have any questions, please raise your hands. This is going to be posted on YouTube. All right. Statement from Dario Amode on our discussions with the Department of War. In case you haven't heard, the United States Department of War has banned Anthropic's products from all of their use. So there's a separation underway at the moment. And this was his response. There's a couple of videos coming up that in an interview he talks about that. It's worthy of a discussion whether or not he made a mistake. I'm not sure I would have made the same decision that he did, but he definitely gets a lot of praise for standing on his morals and not caving to the United States government's Department of War. Right or wrong, I commend him for his leadership. And then Sam Altman came in at OpenAI and said they reached an agreement with the Department of War to put GPT-5 models into their classified network. So this is politics. This is technology. This is war and capitalism. And this is an article that was published on that outlines their specific agreement with the Department of War. And ironically, the thing that Anthropic was asking for, OpenAI was able to get, which is very interesting. So I don't know how that's going to work. Actually, the scary thing is with Anthropic being declared last time I heard, they were still being declared a supply chain threat, which basically means that they and any other company that does business with the United States government can never use their tools for anything whatsoever. So that's going to massively affect Anthropic. A lot of people, once this was announced, are now closing out their ChatGPT accounts and switching over to Anthropic because that's a way that the people can, vote with their pocketbooks. And so I do support that. I have yet to divest from my ChatGPT or Anthropic tools. The other piece of news that happened today, GPT 5.4. Welcome to acceleration effects, folks. New models, better, faster, cheaper. Like I can't, it's a freaking fire hose. This is exciting. I have not played with it. I have not had time. I've been on Zoom calls all day, and I see this coming through on my feed, and I'm just like, I got to get off this call. I need to play with this. I haven't had a chance to breathe. But it's here. It's apparently really good. We'll see. I'm sure there are going to be a bunch of reviews that are talking about GPT 5.4 is the best model we've ever tried. It had better be, Brendan. So spreadsheets, documents, presentations. This stuff excites me to no end. I know. But OS World Verified, GPT-5, that's a jump. Tool yields, accuracy. Yeah. Woof. Oh, wait, hold on. Bulk data entry. I know someone who's in bulk data entry. Wait. A list of records and submits the information across 10 web forms using Playwright. Video is not. Oh, Victor, we're going to have to try that. All right, something for next week. There's too much here. Okay, skip, move on. Okay, so more. This is the announcement on X. GPT 5.4 Thinking and GPT 5.4 Pro are rolling out in ChatGPT. And so this was I didn't scroll down to this, but their metrics. So they're comparing it to Claude 4.6. So, I have not looked at these numbers at all, so I'm seeing this personally for the first time. So bear with me as I like my eye scans all of this stuff. Yeah, this is again, these are metrics. They can be poisoned. They can be, inaccurate in many ways. But the fact that they are, this is another state of the art. This is another leapfrog model. Nope, I don't want to play that. Sorry, my bad. Um, Okay, and this was the ARC AGI semi-private results on AGI 2, GPT 5.4 Pro X High, and what else is in here? $1.52 per task at 74%, and GPT 5.4 Pro at 83%. I'm not seeing that here. Oh, 83%. Got it, I see it. At $16 per task. Yeah, that's impressive. Um, And whenever I bring up the ARC AGI leaderboard, um, I always want to bring to everyone's attention what's really important here that most people do not understand and they don't pay attention to is this. Okay. Um, Human panel, it cost them $17 for the humans to solve 100% of the exam questions. And again, these are smart people, not like me. All right. I don't think I could answer all of this stuff. I've never tried, actually. I don't have time to, but Gemini Deep Think they spent $13.62 and got 84%. Look at this. Gemini 3.1 preview got 77% right and it costs less than a dollar. So if you got less than a dollar and then you wrap this into an agentic AI pipeline, which we know improves the results, how close are we getting to 100%? This is what we need to pay attention to. The cost per task and the level of quality that it got on the exam. People don't pay attention to that. I think that's why I say the smartest person you can hire isn't a human anymore. Because now the comparative advantage, not competitive advantage, comparative advantage, I've got the job, I'm the CEO, I'm hiring people. No, stop. Go hire the AI because the AI can do it for less money. Hire a human, please hire a human. I need work. But the human should be building the agentic systems and using their domain expertise to make sure that they don't go off the rails and hurt people, because that would be bad, I think. I don't know. Um, it might be losing the moral high ground on not hurting people at the moment in the world we live in. GPT 5.4 set a new record on frontier math, our benchmark of extremely challenging math problems. Um, we had pre-release access to evaluate the model on tiers 1 through 3. GPT 5.4 scored 50%, and on tier 4, it scored 38%. Again, hard exam, and the point here is that the models are getting better. So, frontier math, unfreaking believable. What else? GPT 5.4, ninth place in design arena. And I need to figure out what design arena is actually testing. If anybody knows, let me know, put in the Zoom chat. I always forget to look this up. But again, I just pay attention to these things to just get a general sense of how these models are improving, what they're doing, what they're not doing, and whatnot. But again, many of us here are focusing on design. So what's the design arena test? I don't remember. This is a post from Ethan Mollick, the GDP val benchmark for GPT 5.4. He's updated the chart, and the new model ties or beats humans as judged by other experts at professional tasks 82% of the time. Yeah. Speed improvement, cost improvement. Yeah. And so if you give a 7-hour task to AI, even with failure rates and the need to check results, you save 4 hours and 38 minutes on average. What are we talking about here? The only thing that we should be doing right now is learning how to build agentic AI systems, use our domain expertise, and put them in place. That's it. Like that's the job. Jeff, I love you. You're nodding your head. It's good to see you, by the way. That's it. That's the only thing we should be doing. We should be yeah, anyway. And I know many of you are artists and designers and creatives. I get it. We need to figure out how to use our skills with agentic AI to automate and to augment the creative solutions that we are providing our customers and bypass the agencies, go directly to the brands because the agencies are in trouble as well. Another one, this is from March 3rd. So this is ancient at this point. This is 2 days old. GPT 5.3 instant, more accurate, less cringe. Yeah, okay. We'll see. Gemini 3.1 Flash Lite has landed. So this is a cost-efficient, fast model from Gemini, from Google. I didn't really compare this, but speed and cost efficiency, output speed higher is better. So this is 2.5 flash light and 3.1 flash light. Actually, that's a drop there in speed and then price. So yeah, good. Push. Better, faster, cheaper. Okay. Instant LLM updates with doc to LoRa and text to LoRa. Okay. So Sakana.ai is one of my favorite research groups. They are just kicking butt on like the outlier stuff, like the real frontier research. Um, and they just released this the other day, or actually, I don't. When did they release it? Some February. This just hit my feed, and I didn't mention it. I didn't know it. Um, Long-term memory and continual adoption of LLMs are two key challenges of current agentic systems. They propose the usage of auxiliary modulator networks. I can make this larger and make it easier for me to read. That modify LLM weights on the fly to compress document information and master new skills. So they introduced doc to LoRa and text to LoRa. LoRa is a low rank adapter. It is used in conjunction with these large language models or even diffusion models to give them a fine-tuned, an extra skill, a better performance in a specific domain. I think that's a good way of describing a LoRa. And what they're doing here is, let me scroll down. Here we go. Dr. LoRa addresses the long-term memory problem. Given a document, it generates a LoRa adapter that internalizes the document's content into the base model's weights. So subsequent questions can then be answered without the document ever appearing in the context window, cutting both latency and VRAM and adding long-term memory well beyond the model's native context limit. So in class, we've talked about how context window is everything. Managing this is everything. When you're using retrieval augmented generation, you're asking for a fact or you're searching for searching the web for something that is going to be placed into the context window so that the LLM can respond. Here, they're saying, here's a document, add this document to your weights and biases, build it into your model. What I want to pay attention to here, actually with both of these, is when you've done this, does the model perform worse in other domains? So my understanding, and there's a lot of research on this, that when you fine tune a model or you run a LoRa, you wind up having the model perform better in the domain that you're asking it to be an expert in, but then it winds up performing much worse in the outside domains. So it's a trade-off. So it does better in the area we want it to think about, but it does really bad in other areas, and you can have adverse effects with that. And by the way, the other thing would be like prompt injection. So you wind up having greater risk of prompt injection and other security issues when you go through this process. And then the second one is text to LoRa. This addresses the adaptation problem. So given a natural language task description, it generates a LoRa adapter that steers the frozen base model towards the described behavior. As a result, writing a description replaces running a fine-tuning pipeline, allowing adaptation to happen on the fly. So over the past several weeks, we've been talking about how continuous learning is very important. I think that this falls under that kind of area where we're going to eventually, someone's going to crack this nut. I think it's going to be Sakana. Like they're going to be part of this. And they're just like, we no longer need to worry about back propagation in deep neural networks. And then you're going to just have the first taste of artificial superintelligence. But these things are very important in terms of their techniques and the results that they're producing. So again, factual knowledge from a document and task-specific behavior or skill. Very important to pay attention if you're in this area. Pay attention to what they're doing. I love Sakana .ai. Sakana, if you hear this and you're looking for somebody, I'm available. So this was the code bases that they released. I know most of you don't really care about the code base, but I do. I love it. All right. And here's their announcement as well. So Dr. Laura and their X post. NVIDIA, we are excited for the next phase of our strategic partnership with OpenAI to deploy 5 gigawatts on Vera Rubin for model training and inference to support their growth at large-scale AI development. I also saw a little post somewhere that Jensen Huang might be ending. They're not going to invest any more in OpenAI. We'll see how that plays out. Artificial analysis text to video leaderboard. So again, a lot of these companies that monitor the metrics and the performance of all of these things. Kling 3.0 1080p Pro is at the top of the leaderboard. Takes the #1 spot in text to video. across both with audio and without audio leaderboards in the artificial analysis video arena. So, and
Playing is my go-to.
Kling is your go-to? Okay, thanks, Kevin. I was gonna actually ask, like, what are you guys using, for your video production? So, was that hey Kevin, the thing you showed earlier, was that done in Kling?
Yep.
That was okay.
The
Yeah.
thing we can't
So
show.
the thing we can't show on the recording, Kevin uses Kling. That works for me, man. And it was beautiful. So love you, man. What else? Mm, I have no idea what happened here. So Google Anti-Gravity is one of the tools that I want to use. I don't use. I code. I'm using Cursor for everything, and I mean like almost everything from composing emails to query. I mean, okay, I'll query ChatGPT, but anything I'm building in Cursor at this point, and like doing research, asking questions. It's just all building code, writing LaTeX papers, and Google Anti-Gravity is free. It's free. Cursor's paid. And you can pay Google and you can get on their higher quota. But I don't know what happened here. To the builders, we heard you. We're welcoming back everyone who recently had their Google Anti-Gravity accounts restricted for use of third-party tools. Moving forward, we'll have clear steps for users to restore their accounts if it's restricted. So I don't know what happened here. But this is bad. Meaning, like, if you were using Google Anti-Gravity and you installed like Claude code into Google Anti-Gravity, did these users get banned? Because that I don't know what happened here. So to maintain the integrity of anti-gravity and ensure a great user experience for everyone using third-party tools with your anti-gravity login remains against our terms. What the heck? Like I don't get this at all. I would not I would caution anyone to use this at this point. So I don't know how to navigate this. I just saw this and I'm like, well, all right. Again, this is from February, so I don't if somebody has any advice, let me know. So I'm teaching a class in like a couple of weeks now at Cal Lutheran to teach their MBA students how to build. And Google Anti-Gravity is on the list of tools that I'm like, hey, here's something you could use. But if they're doing something like this, I don't know if that's worthy of using at this point. I'm just not sure how to navigate that. So if anybody has advice, let me know in overtime. Epoch AI, again, one of my other favorite companies that keeps track of all this stuff. Uh, their OpenAI's recent funding round nearly triples the amount they have raised so far. The information is reported that OpenAI projects a $157 billion cash burn through 2028. So that's in the next 2 years. That's a lot of money to burn through. So this round combined with 40 billion cash on hand essentially matches that projection. So I don't know what this means other than that all of the AI use that we're using and we're spending $20 a month on is being subsidized by venture capitalists and other investors. So is it a bubble? I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. Oops. Oops. Okay. What was this? So again, a lot of these posts that I'm just going to throw out here. The Claude native law firm. I got a bunch of friends who are lawyers. We've talked about Harvey in the past, but this is Claude. They released a bunch of plugins and Claude Cowork. And yeah, interesting article on how this is going to affect legal and law firms and lawyers. How AI is changing the workforce. I'm very sensitive to AI in the workforce. This is from Gary Vaynerchuk, who is one of the top advertising people at VaynerMedia. AI is inevitable, not optional. This is a Mount Rushmore level shift. Oh, I completely agree with that. How AI will change the workforce. Architect versus the Mason. Be a practitioner, not an observer. Why the most human will win in the AI world. Customer service and customer experience are the front line. More emphasis on humanity over skills. How to use AI right now. Voice depth prompting. Don't agree. Increased opportunities for young people. Yeah, I don't know about that other than be an entrepreneur. The disruption of influencer marketing. Adaptability wins. Squeeze the moment. Listen to Gary V. He is wise. He is wise. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that there's a CBS News had a couple of interviews of Dario Amodei. This is worth a watch, folks. There was I this These are just this is the short 1 minute thing. This is the longer interview. We should be paying attention to how the CEOs of these AI companies are behaving relative to the government. Claude, what was this? Import and export your memory from Claude. Okay, I have not tried this. I need to do this. I think this is really smart. So Anthropic in an attempt to gain customers away from ChatGPT and Google, I'm assuming this is import your and export your memory from Claude. So if there's a way for me to export my conversations from ChatGPT and bring them into Claude, is that what this is? I don't know. That's a good idea if there's a way to do that. Um, by the way, like I would do other things. I would like export, some of the key conversations and, because you can do that and in from ChatGPT and create a data set that you can bring into Claude. The third era of AI software development, another article on here from tabs to agents, uh, agent usage in Cursor, mainstream and is the default. I completely agree with that. Um, Cloud agents and artifacts, the shift away is underway inside of Cursor. By the way, there's several announcements. I think I have one later with Cursor. They just announced a new thing with agents. Bullshit bench version 2 detection rate by model. This I love benchmarks like this. I forget what this was. Percentage of nonsense questions that each model detected, which is green, partially challenged, amber, and or accepted, red. So Claude Sonnet has a good bullshit detector. My mom would respond well to this because she can detect my bullshit really well. Love you, mom. Quen from Alibaba, we've covered this in the past. They released the Quen 3.5 models. So they have also these small models that are here. These are capable of running on an iPhone. In fact, I think I have a slide or a section here where somebody was doing that. Small models, come on, and they're performing reasonably well. Uh, so strong multimodal model base for lightweight agents. 9 billion compact, already closing the gap with much larger models, and they're releasing the base models as well. Okay, Kriya introducing voice mode. I'm not going to turn the audio on because every time I do, I get a ding from YouTube. Speak as you draw and changes in real time, and it's on their iPad. Let me do it. Yeah, I'm going to get a ding on this. There's music on here. Damn it. That's fine. I'll have to edit that out. All in podcasts, and again, I don't, regardless of what your political beliefs are, I do pay attention to the All In podcast. David Freeberg explains why AI will break every economic model, and asks a very insightful question, one that I've debated with a couple of friends of mine over the past couple of years is, will output surpass consumptive capacity? Could we produce more than we could consume? And this is that transformation of scarcity to abundance. What happens when we have an overabundance? And if you look at the studies of, the on rats and animals, and like we give them all the food that they could possibly have, and they don't need anything, and their societies collapse and they wind up killing each other. So yeah, that might not be good. We'll see. There's always going to be some constraint on the systems and architectures and economies that we create, regardless of whether it's a dystopia or a utopia. So very important. Pay attention to David Freeberg. Star Talk. Neil deGrasse Tyson had an interview with Jeffrey Hinton. I have not watched this. It's an hour and a half long, and I've just been busy, but I really love listening to anything and everything that Sir Jeffrey Hinton talks about. And Neil deGrasse Tyson is also pretty freaking brilliant in my opinion. So crazy, but brilliant. Oh, this was what I was. So this is Quen 3.5 running on an iPhone. I don't know if there's audio here. Okay, no. But like that's all you need to know. That an iPhone 17 can run a small, you know, medium size large language model. I'm not sure which model. This is the 2 billion 6-bit. Okay. With MLX optimized for Apple Silicon. Damn, that's good. Actually, really? It's on the App Store? Oh, I don't know if I trust that. I'd have to look into that. Yeah, I don't know if I would trust that. I would still want to wrap it in a different app in my own. I don't know. No offense. Artificial analysis. Google's released Gemini 3.1. I mentioned this earlier. GPT 5.3 incident. I mentioned that earlier. Here's the leaderboard. This is for Kimi K 2.5. International models on ArcAGI 2 semi-private, and this was the scores that they were doing. Again, Gemini 3.1 Pro preview. Claude, GPT 5.5, 5.2. Here's Kimi, here's GLM, here's DeepSeek, R1. This is the old one. Still important to pay attention to. Okay, so this was interesting. Meter, they released a retraction and a correction on their 50% time horizon measurements. They were inflated by over-regularization. So yes, it's still within the confidence interval that they've had for a while, but they had to revise the results. And this is just, again, mistakes are made. Kudos to them to acknowledging it as quickly as they did and posting a retraction and a correction. Um, so yeah, I mean, again, this is still the point here is the models are still good and they're still able to focus for a long, very freaking period of time. Oh, look, there's a squirrel. My ADD is in trouble. Like I don't know how to respond, but the AI can sit and focus for hours. Great. And speaking of the ARC prize, ARC AGI 3 launch party, March 25th. Again, we need a new test. The models are getting better, so we're going to have to move the goalposts back and give them a harder exam. That's what ARC AGI 3 is going to be doing. LM Studio, my favorite local LLM tool that I use to run all of my large language models locally. Again, they don't perform as well as the GPTs and the Geminis and the Anthropics, uh, but they run really well. And I run them locally, and it was featured in the Apple's new M5 announcement. This is something to be paying attention to because you can now the next generation of Macs, the Mac Studios. I cannot wait for those to be released. But the new Mac Pros that have the M5 Ultra chips, like you put those, you get one of those with 128 gigs of RAM, and you could basically run most of these quantized models, if not all of them. Where you get the real superpower is you're going to need a stack of a cluster, I should say, of Mac Studios each with half a terabyte of RAM. Speaking of which, I saw another thing today that the M5, sorry, the M3, M4 Mac Studios with half a terabyte of RAM are no longer available. They're all sold out. And it's related to the memory shortage that is happening across the globe because we can't produce enough of it because it's all going into the data centers. So, I don't have $20,000 to spend on a Mac Studio, but I want a new laptop. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so if I can make donations to my Patreon so I can buy a new laptop. AI slop, think again. I love it. 2026 year of AI video. AI video moved too fast, and I need to talk about it. This is a great article about the quality increases of AI video and where we're going and what this means to filmmakers and advertisers and the different ecosystem and the different tools that are out there. Uh, AI video model cost comparison per 10 seconds. So, wow, you know, LTX2 open, free. There you go. Actually, we've got news on that. Um, Big update coming to the Unity game engine for AI game development. The company will unveil a beta of upgraded Unity AI that lets developers prompt full casual games into existence using only natural language. So I've spent, I don't know, like 2 years, 2.5 years building games in Unity and had very little success in the gaming universe. We pivoted and we were doing other things in real time. Had a lot of success with that. But now that you could prompt it, it's just like, yeah, that's so cool. Um, Pay attention to that if you are in the gaming industry. So Notebook LM, my favorite tool for doing research and learning things and analyzing papers and articles and YouTube videos. They've just released cinematic video overviews. I have not played with this yet.
Dividing by zero, a whole. The idea of a limit is one of the most powerful tools in all of mathematics. It is the engine that drives calculus. Imagine a map of a landscape. The landscape is a perfect graph of a mathematical function.
I'm going to pause that. So it's now creating video overviews, cinematic nonetheless. That's exciting. I love it. I don't know if it's slop. It could be slop. It could be beautiful. Time will tell. And like many of you have seen my presentations. Like I like minimalist slides without all this noise. I'm like, I have just a few words on my slides for a reason. That I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. What was this? Oh, this is I showed this the bullshit meter. New OpenAI repo Symphony. TLDR is an orchestration. Again, pay attention to the orchestration layer, folks. That polls project boards for changes and spawns agents for each lifecycle stage of the ticket. You will just move tickets on a board instead of prompting an agent to write the code and do a pull release. Um, I have not looked at this, but that looks like a Kanban board. Oh, what? No, damn it. Sorry, I guess I can't click on that. No, go away. Yeah, that looks like a Kanban board. So if that's what monitors a linear board for work and spawns agents to handle the task. Come on, man. I mean, look, I need to start using these types of tools. I'm feeling like a little overwhelmed. I don't know about you guys. Because I need that. Like I need to be able to set up a system, a framework and a harness where it's like, okay, here's the mission, here's what we're building, here's the specification, go solve it so I can go like relax and sketch in my sketchbook and then come back 20 minutes later, an hour later, a day later, and the app is built. That's what I want. I think many people are already doing that. I'm just not there. I'm a little behind. Google Canvas in AI mode lets you build plans and organize information over multiple sessions in a dynamic side panel that updates as you go. Again, I feel like we've seen this in the ChatGPT and the Claudes and the Perplexities, but I'm glad to see this in Google's AI mode Canvas with Gemini. Good to see it. I have to play with that. I haven't done that yet. Oh, this is interesting because like folks have taken my class. I have an entire unit on copyright, and here it is. The AI generated art can't be copyrighted after the United States Supreme Court declines to review the rule. This, regardless of what your opinion is of our government in the United States or administration, this is a very good decision. AI generated work cannot and should not ever be allowed to get a copyright. Copyright is for human authored works, period. Full stop. If a human didn't create it, it can't get a copyright. What that means is everything that's AI generated, I can copy. It is public domain. I love that universe. Now, some brands and some creators might not like it, but that's not the point. The point is, if you want to copyright, do it the old school way. If you want to welcome to the new hotness, use AI, iterate, create lots, and then it doesn't matter. The value of your masterpiece is zero, marginally zero. That's the new universe. So outputs, copyright, zero. Winnie, I know you're taking the class this semester, and I kind of just spoiled the entire copyright unit, but I'll just drag you through the entire torture in a few weeks. But that's the world we live in. Thank you for coming on for office hours, Winnie. So Breitbart AI generated art can't receive copyright protection against the same article. Same news. David Sachs, today President Trump, again, he's also in the All In podcast, obtained a pledge from America's leading tech companies that new data centers would not increase electricity prices for residential consumers. So there's been a pushback from many populations like NIMBY, don't build the data center in my backyard because it's just going to cost, my electrical bill is going to go up. So this is the government saying no, and making sure that people aren't adversely affected in terms of their electric bills. I think this is on the right track. I think this makes sense. I'm sure that somebody's going to find a way to work around it, but we'll see how this plays out. At least, and again, regardless of what you think of the administration, there are smart people who understand what's going on, advising the administration, and they're making, in some cases, good decisions, in others, not good decisions. But we can talk about that over time. All right. Adweek ad agencies are embracing vibe coding to build GEO products for clients. GEO is the generative engine optimization instead of the search engine optimization. And I'm like, oh, this is great. They're 3 years too late. And I just want to point out, I'm glad that the advertising agencies are doing this, and they're trying to figure out how to help their customers, the brands, optimize their web pages and their content so that when a person asks ChatGPT for some information, that their brand, their solution shows up in the sources, in the references. That's what GEO is all about. And there's a bunch of techniques and a bunch of tools. By the way, a lot of it's very related to search engine optimization, which is good. Um, but I gotta tell you, the agencies are going to lose this because at some point this all becomes internal to the brand because the cost for the brand to just hire a person for now to build the AI agent to do the GEO or hire a platform, upload here's my credit card, here's my account. The chief marketing officer just creates it and it just does it for them in near real time. That's the solution. That's where we're going. Great that the agencies are experimenting. Awesome. That, by the way, that's an opportunity for any creatives in the room. If you're looking for work, learn how to build this stuff and then go do it for the agency because you have the domain expertise. Okay, a couple of new tools that hit my feed. Martini Film. This looks compelling. Another tool, your film set for AI videos. Four pros, four people in the room. This is really interesting. Camera control, integrated pipeline. So they got a little editor in here. Teamwork. If somebody wants to take a look at this and play with it one of these days, report back. I think this might be an interesting user interface for video production. What's the pricing? Studio 150 a month for teams or $30 a month for solo professionals. Private projects, access to Martini Labs. Compare all plans. What do you get? What do you get? How much? How much? Oh, here we go. Per model pricing. So one olive. Oh, it's a martini. Oh, branding. Right. Brilliant. One olive is 10 cents. Costs may vary by model and generation length. Okay. Okay. Olives. 5 seconds. 5 second shot. That's what I really want to know. So Kling 3 is $1.25 for 5 seconds. All right. This is doable. The other platform is Utopia Studios Pi, P-A-I. I think that's how to pronounce that. Where logic powers Wonder, the cinematic storytelling engine that turns your screenplay into consistent characters, cinematic shots, and complete videos through one structured workflow. I think that this is gonna, again, another tool that people are gonna really start to use to build their content. And if you are in a school like the School of Visual Arts and you are being told that you can't use AI and that using AI is plagiarism, go find another fucking school. I'm tired of fighting that battle. I feel like we're doing such harm to our students. We're destroying their ability to have a job and compete in the marketplace. But tools like this look incredible to me. And I'm sure this is just version 1, and it's only going to get better. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think these two might compare. Let me go back a slide. Might compare to LTX Studio in terms of the functionality and the features. That's what I think. But we'll see. I love it. This is so cool. Absolutely incredible. What was this from Google? Generate your own. Oh, I mentioned earlier the cinematic overviews in Notebook LM. This was their blog post. I didn't play the video. And this is LTX2. They just released an update. LTX 2.3 is a major upgrade. It's a production-ready multimodal engine designed to be built on. Here's what's new. So for those of you who are using any of the Weavies and the Floras and any of these other tools, check out LTX 2.3. I think this might be another competitor for Kling 3. And also just keep in mind, this is an open model, so you could run it locally on a fast computer.
Yeah, I'm
Pete.
trying to get that running tonight in Comfy.
In Comfy? Okay. Report back tomorrow, please. I want to know what it looks like. So shipping today, full code, model weights and training code, API access for production integration, LTX Studio for web-based generation. Run it locally, fine-tune it, integrate it directly into your workflows. They're giving it away for free. I love it. The biggest upgrade is the visual fidelity and motion stability. A new video variational autoencoder and refined latent space deliver sharper, fine detail and more stable motion. Image to video holds together better. Small textures survive compression. And last frame interpolation makes endings feel intentional. We also applied more aggressive data filtering and improved data processing, which directly improves fine visual detail and reduces artifacts. Prompt understanding, nice. You no longer need to over-engineer prompts. Keyframes and structured control are now more deeply integrated. So I'm trying to figure out, oh, that's the first and end frame. Image to video retake keyframes. So that's the start. So that's the start frame. That's the end frame. Okay, that's cool. They got that. Vocoder.
Dialogue sounds especially clean. Audio has been greatly improved. Dialogue sounds
Nice. I'm assuming I'm sharing my audio so you guys can hear that. Okay, good. What was this? Yeah, raise the bar. Awesome. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Every day, every week, a new thing. You know, the only strategy here is you got to be nimble and agile and try everything. Also, LTX 2.3 is now supported in Comfy UI. This was their announcement from Comfy. Clear text rendering. Oh, that's interesting too. Clear text. Cool. Image to video. Oh. Yep. Text to video. Cool. Good stuff. This was the model card on Hugging Face where you can play with it. I think you can did they have direct download? No. Just in a collab. Awesome. LTX Studio, again, this is their other announcement. I'm just looking at the videos here. Accurate text. Oh, wow. Wow. What was the prompt for that? Oh, they don't show the prompt. Do they? They have an alt tag? No. Wow, I want to know what the prompt was for that. Cool. Hey Jen is now on FAL. Again, FAL is a API platform for generative end models. What was this? Tongyi released a Z image turbo LoRa. And I forget what was so cool about this. Photorealism in just 8 inference steps. Oh, so that was more efficient. That's what it was. Quen 3.5, 0.8 billion web GPU demo. Is this working? Oh no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, I guess this was another demo that I'm not going to do. Kriya describe. Oh, this is cool. So you know how I've talked about how PQ we were using. You use a multimodal model that you say, here's an image, describe the image. Okay, well, now you can do that in Kriya. You know, you can now generate prompts from images in Kriya, drag and drop any image into the prompt box, get a prompt for it. This is really useful to use a reference image and then get a prompt out of it and then use that prompt, modify that prompt. So you're extracting information, you're getting a generation away from the original and still maintaining some sense of fidelity. It's a really good technique that creatives can use to remove yourself from any copyright. I will say, you know, it's like, hey, here's a copyrighted image. We want it to look like, you know, that, but not that. So you can use this, upload it, get the description, and use that prompt in another generation. Where this becomes really powerful, not in Kriya, but in just in agentic architectures, is, you know, imagine I'm extracting the different elements of my image or of my video, and I'm saying, well, I want to be the creative director. I want to automate the creative director, and I'm going to extract the different layers of the image. I'm going to look for the text. I'm going to look for the overlay. I'm going to make sure that, you know, what's detected here, and I'm going to segment different elements. And when I find something that doesn't align, and you know, whether it's creatively, visually, or with the brand guidelines, I'm going to send that back to be regenerated with an updated prompt. That's what PQ is doing. That's the theory of it. And there are other people doing it. There's not much that's really special other than that I can do it. It just takes a boatload of tokens, but it works reasonably well. Definitely on still images, and the video stuff I is not working. But it's fun. It's exciting. So, Fudan University just solved the animation problem nobody thought AI could touch. It's called Omni Lottie, the first AI that generates real vector animations from text, images, and video. So, if you are a motion graphics designer, um, I don't know what to tell you, but here's the paper. I haven't read this. I haven't seen it, but I don't know if they have released a demo. Did they release a demo project page? Yeah, here we go. I haven't looked at this. Simple, not special, but it's a start. Wow. Yeah, these are usable. Sorry. I don't need to hire a designer. If these are prompt to vector, like I think it is, you don't need to hire a team of designers and animators to make these anymore. You just prompt it, and if it's good enough, you use it. Wow. And it's only going to get better. Kiwi Edit, versatile video editing via instruction and reference guidance. So this was a wide range of text instruction. So input and output. So apply the sketch style to this video. Come on. No, you're not loading. It's not loading. Okay. I guess not. Background in place. No, can't do it. Okay. Whatever. But input video, output video. Replace the background with a Chinese ink painting featuring a large golden mountain peak rising above the swirling clouds. Is it good? I don't know. Is it a proof of concept? Definitely, it's at that level. But it's open source. Kling 3 Omni, and 3.0 motion control fully rolled out. Superb character consistency with professional mocap level motion control, flexible video creation, 15 seconds, multi-shot, 1080p, stronger image generation, supports 4K output, and series mode.
Well, it's just a cat. Just a cat?
He needs to think bigger.
I need to find my cat.
But where do you want to go, sir?
Everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, exciting. What else? Helios, real-time long video generation model. When I use that term real-time, 19 frames per second on a single H100 GPU. About 10 frames per second on a single Ascend NPU. I don't know if this video works. Yeah. So it has that AI slop feel to it, but that's not what's important. What's important is that it's real time. On a supercomputer, on a single H100, that's what's important. And it's AI slop. That's never going to take my job. Look at the slope, folks. Look at the slope. Pay attention to these things. Here, 3 years of AI progress. Will Smith eating spaghetti. This is cute.
Uncle Phil, come try this. Fresh pasta of Bel Air.
So have you heard of Kling 3.0?
I heard it can create multiple scene cuts like this with a single prompt. And it knows when to cut to whoever is talking.
But did you know that all this audio was also generated with the same prompt?
I guess I didn't, sir.
Study harder, kid. Eat your spaghetti.
I'm sorry. I have to use a bad word now. That's fucking fantastic. Just like, oh man. Yes, it's got a little hokey, but like, come on. Look at where we're at, folks. Look at where we're at. And we're banning this in school? Come on. Comfy UI panorama stickers. I forget what this was. Small node set for laying out image stickers on a 360. I can't read that. Equi-rectangular panorama. Is this going to play? No. I'm going to reload this page, see if I can get this. So you've got this surface that you're laying out these images on, and you can then zoom around it, pull your frame, and then generate. So really cool. Really freaking cool. So if you're a cinematographer and you need to get the right shot, this is a good way to do it. This is only going to get better. Love it. Absolutely love it. Master selects, I forget what this was. Browser-based video compositor. So again, another one of these things. Where did this thing come from? Like and it's actively being developed. Well, last post was yesterday. What makes this different? Most browser-based video editors share a pattern: Canvas 2D compositing, GPU first, zero copy export, 3-tier scrubbing cache, 13 production dependencies. Everything else is custom built from scratch. Nested compositing, on-device AI, SAM2. This is so they're not using SAM3. Interesting. SAM2 runs entirely in browser via Onyx runtime. Click to select objects in the preview, propagate masks across frames, no server, no API key, no upload. This is awesome. No Adobe subscription. I don't have time to try this, but I want someone who's watching to try this and tell me if this is worth like learning and doing and supporting. But this type projects like this excite me to no end. Diff Synth Studio. What was this? Welcome to the magic world of diffusion models. An open source diffusion model engine developed and maintained by ModelScope. Again, this is coming out of China. This was interesting. Qwen Image Layered Control V2 model, which is an updated version of Qwen Image Layered Control. I think that was what drew me to this. I forget. It's not loading. Darn it. Yeah, cool. I'm sure they have other examples. What else do we have? Oh, Autodesk Flow Studio. Introducing Wonder 3D, a new generative AI model in Flow Studio for fast and detailed 3D asset creation. I'm glad to see that Autodesk is not dead. They did acquire Wonder. What was it? What was it? Wonder 3D? Is that the name of the company? I forget.
They should be dead.
They should be dead. And by the way, like there are three Autodesk people in the room right now. And like
Sorry.
we've lived through Autodesk and Flame for decades. For decades, guys. I'm with
I
you.
know. I had somebody who worked. I have a good friend of mine who worked for Autodesk for many, many years.
You know, I'm like, I'm Maya, I am Softimage, I am, I am Alias, I am, Flame.
And
Like,
their hardware never worked.
and no, the hardware worked. I don't know, the hardware
No, there were
was
always
fine.
problems. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to
Fine.
be quiet now.
We will,
Before
I
we
will
get
fight
sued.
that. The hardware was state of the art. It worked. I knew how
It
to
never
make it.
worked.
It worked, dude. I made it work.
The
That
in
was
and
my
outs
skill.
never worked.
The edits or the video?
The stuff that they sold, like, it was always a problem with
There was
it.
always a problem, but I was there to fix it. Like I was the guy that made sure that shit worked.
All
And Pete's giving me a shrug.
I don't want to get sued.
No. Right, me neither. I loved it. It was fine. I made a lot of money. I enjoyed that portion of my career. Anyway, so Autodesk Flow Studio, text to 3D, image to 3D, text to image. Again, I don't know. I don't know anything about this tool. Generate 3D models from text and images. By the way, the other thing that I think is a huge opportunity for Autodesk is if they can figure out the generation of 3D models for manufacturing, the design for manufacturing. Again, this is more for entertainment, but if they can figure out the manufacturing component and those constraints, I have yet to see anybody really get that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, I need a new water bottle.
Don't get me started. I gotta stop.
What happened?
It's just like they had it all. They had it all.
Yeah.
And their customer service was awful.
Yeah. Well, I no argument. Well, I mean, I I always got through.
Unless you were top tier.
I was top tier. I was top tier. Anyway, um, I think that they're a good company. Anyway, so that's Autodesk. Love it that they're not dead yet. Molmo, we've talked about Allen AI in the past. Their research institute. They've released this model, I think, just now. Yeah, 2 days ago. Their state-of-the-art video understanding, pointing, and tracking model. This actually is interesting to me because I think this could be integrated into my PQ pipeline, at least as far as the video understanding query information, like, hey, what do you see in this image? What works, what doesn't work? The fine-grained understanding, so describe this video, the user interaction, what number car is the first to pass the yellow car? How does the player celebrate scoring the first goal? How many different bison are visible in the video, object tracking. Well, I mean, for object tracking, I'm still using the SAM model from Meta. The visual skills, find the visual artifacts based on the talking, what's the name of the person in the green shirt. This is video understanding. This is actually one of the areas that we need a lot more research on. I think this is one of the areas that is improving drastically. Video understanding. Nano Banana 2 makes it. Okay, so let's go into prompt share. There's a lot here, folks. And I feel like for those of you who are taking my class this term, this is the kind of stuff I want to see. I'm looking at you, Winnie. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see from the students at this point, because it's here. Like, you can be doing this, you should be doing this. This is the level of quality that I'm now expecting from the students to do. This was Maygen AI Design MCP. So this was turn Claude Code, OpenClaw into your personal design assistant, rivaling LoveArt. Again, these AI agent deck systems, the OpenClaw, but now it's creating content for you. I'm actually going to click this. Not this. Sorry, that's an advertisement. You just realized I'm going to get a copyright strike because it's got music on it. So yeah, they're using Claude Code and they're going to generate a bunch of images using their MCP server. And that's the URL. And there you go. Coco Chanel. I don't know about you, but that looks pretty darn good to me. Okay, Tech Hala, using variables in your prompts is an absolute game changer. So again, this falls under my universe of, oh, that's cool. I can use that to automate everything. When you put in a variable in your prompt, I can use that in an agentic pipeline because it's basically code, and that's what we're going to constantly change. So if it's like, well, we need to make changes to the color, we need to change whatever, this is how to do it. Again, more JSON prompting, more examples. This is the kind of stuff I want to see. This is insane. This is a prompt, folks. And I will say, like, I've not spent any time copying these prompts.
Can you share that?
It's all in in the link I sent earlier.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
It's on the. Hold on, let me.
Sorry, I'm just it's been a long day.
No, it's okay. Where's my I'll put it again. Bear with me. Give me a second. I want you to have it, man. I always put this on the website. I try and remember to put this on the website before. But that's the link to all of the links. But
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. So like I just think this is what we should be teaching students. This is what we should be practicing with. This is what we should be working on. Because this is the future. This is it. And the Sakura, I mean, come on. Like, this is like my whole, cherry blossom fetish with my rat. And that's with a robot. And it's got a skateboard. Oh, man. This doesn't...
Too much.
This is... I don't know what Yapper is. I don't know what Yapper is. But this is great. Oh, it's AI slop. No, it's not. It's better than anything you could do, and it took seconds. What would that take? That would take days for, an artist to create. more JSON
I
prompting.
think it's also coming down to that the clients are going to become more receptive
Yeah.
to the situation and understand it's like a film shoot. You get what you get on the film shoot, and then you work with it, rather than it being like everything's got to be exactly perfect. But the price, you weigh the price out. You know what I mean? I don't
The,
know. We'll see what happens.
the price is going to collapse because you can automate it. Maybe not yet. Okay. Maybe the advertising agency and the brand manager is like, oh, well, I see a problem in that. That's right. That you're looking at the content through a skeptical eye of high quality and high taste, a high standard. I love that. I'm all for that. And so when you make a generation, and I know what you're saying here, oh, we got to bring this through Photoshop and clean it up, right? Like, so we've gone too far. It's too real. She's got these extra hairs here. We got to remove that. We got to clean up these pores. That was generated. We want that. Okay, because then if you go backwards, oh well, it's AI slop and it looks too plastic. All right, fine, doesn't matter. Prompt it, get it, build your pipeline so that that's what you need. And if you're changing the race or the color of the person's hair or the hat and the goggles and the reflection, that's what you do. That becomes the automation. And if it's good enough and you're showing it to a person once, if only one customer ever sees this image, it's not airing on the Super Bowl. It's airing on Instagram and it's being shown to one person. That's the use case here. I don't need to have perfection. I need to have good enough. The words have to be correct. The image has to be good. The brand logo, the messaging has to be spot on. We can now automate that today. I can show you how to do it, but I want to be paid $1 million to build that. So if a brand or an agency wants to hire me, I will absolutely build this. I'm available for $1 million. Like this is the world that we live in. That's the use case. And the agencies are going to scramble to be relevant in the next few years. I don't see how they're going to create value. Uh, Nano Banana 2. The prompts that actually work. I thought this was a good. Again, I love prompt share. Just examples of how people are building things. Um, Pins, awesome. Uh, Transform this image into a 64K DSLR. Just cute. Again, she looks a little plastic, but not bad.
I still feel like there are times during the day where it doesn't work as well as other times during the day.
I can't argue with that.
I don't know how to like. I mean, or it just doesn't do it. I mean, like it makes sense. Like, why not? Because we want to make money. Why not mess up every once in a while? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have an answer
There's no way
for
to
it.
track it.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I mean, maybe through the API there is. I don't know. I don't know for sure. If you were calling the API, there might be some response that you could get as to a cause. I don't know.
I
Uh,
don't. I don't have time for that.
those those types of things are going to get solved over time because there's just a performance quality, a service level agreement that businesses, enterprise, especially enterprises, are going to really want to have. Um, yeah. I love this. I thought these were really cool. These inflated designs. I mean, that's a prompt, man. You know, like for somebody to build this, think about the 3D modeling that would have to go into this. How many hours of a job?
No, the design phase.
What do you mean the design phase?
What I mean, like to make this, you need a designer to think this up too.
Well,
It's
okay.
like
Again,
yeah.
so thank you. In my mind, the designer came up with the prompt, right? The designer, the human came up with the prompt today, but the AI did the work. And now, instead of hiring a human to do the work to make the model and to do the lighting and the texturing and the rendering, that's days of work, in my opinion, just to make one image. Forget about any animation on this, right? Just to make this. That is a person who would have been hired at an agency or a production studio, and they would have had a job for days, and this would have been what, tens of thousands of dollars? Gone. You cannot justify that anymore. I just don't see it. I don't see the economics of hiring a person to make this when you can make it in a prompt. Higgsfield Soul mood boards are live. 10,000 free gen. Oh, this was just an advertisement. I don't know. Yeah. More prompt share. These are cool too. I knew I had a client who was doing Photoshop advertisements that this was a week or two's worth of work. Um, I don't know, John Gata, you might have comments on that, but these are amazing. This is just absolutely fantastic. I'm sure if there's might be some text problems in here, but I don't I don't think it matters if it's on an Instagram feed that's seen by one person. Most people use POV. Almost no one uses POV in structured JSON. I just want to show you this. So, shot, composition, lens, camera movement, subject, description, wardrobe, props, scene, location, time of day, environment, visual details, action, special effects, hair, clothing, motion, cinematography, lighting, color palette, tone, audio, music, ambient, sound effects, mix level. Let me actually, there's audio here. That's insane. And I think if you add this with the multi-shot components, I think I mean, these are just, this is a simple POV shot. So, um, dude, is it perfect? Like as if I shot that with a real person? No, but I don't have to go shoot that now. I don't have to go hire a driver. I don't have to go get a track. I don't have to wait till it's raining. I don't have to add the rain in VFX. What are we talking about? It's beautiful. Geez, the horse mane. Yeah, I love it. All right, I got to move on because it's already 9:15 and I've got too much to go through. Again, just more cool images. These 3D maps. Just great. Incredible. More design. Love it. Food, because I know how disruptive this is to many advertising. Uh, Luxury merch concept work. That was the prompt structure. Nana Banana on Gemini Pro. Brown's Dairy. Mango passion fruit. Got the logo right. Love this. Love it. Love it. Love it. Kling 3.0, an AI video model that finally thinks like a filmmaker. This was a good article on how this artist was creating content with Kling 3. Kevin, if you are interested in that, that's something you might want to take a look at. What else? Prompt share, Nano Banana on Hilo product design. Just spectacular. Seriously. Absolutely spectacular. Donuts. Now I want donuts. Unbelievable. So that's the still. Shrimp. Come on. Oh, that looked weird. Oh, no. I don't know if that looks weird. I can't tell. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Love it. This is incredible. These are also cool. I love the origami styles of products. Uh, Photographer. Just do it. Yeah, that's really good. That's the prompt structure. Typographic mask, dynamic subject, sophisticated palette, photography and lighting, minimalist branding. Yeah. Okay, it's a little awkward, but the design's great. Create a brand visual storyboard to present your products with Nano Banana 2. This is an example of, again, multiple frames and how they went through all of these different panels. So each frame has its separate prompt. Clean 3x3 grid with no borders, no text, No captions, no watermarks, although got the watermark. Nano Banana 2 and Adobe Firefly prompt guide. Again, I'm not sure why this is special for Firefly, but I thought this was interesting for people who use Firefly. And more food. I'd have to look through this to see if there's even problems in here. Yeah, Adidas. Love this Amir's work. Oops. Um, More variable prompting. Beautiful. This was cool. Sea dance approach. Painterly effects. And a comparison. Nano Banana, Midjourney, Ideogram, Flux, and Grok. This is a good analysis. Worth paying attention to. More prompt share, more prompt share. Yep, cute. Campaign generator prompt. Yeah. That's insane. This is absolutely fantastic. More petals, E essence. Yeah, I see a little bit of slop in the text. Sprite. What was interesting here is I don't see Sprite in the prompt. So I don't know how that got there, unless that was unless this was the reference image that I'm missing, which is possible. I don't know. This was cool. Just beautiful stuff. What was this? A grape can vine flow. Oh, I mentioned this earlier. This was how that other similar thing. Yeah. Could you imagine? That's a prompt. PJ, this guy is definitely worth following. He talks about how he's creating his process. Very important to pay attention to what PJ is posting and teaching. Yep. SAS isn't dead. It's being reborn in the OpenClaw army. Okay, so that means SAS is dead, but yes, onto the OpenClaw news. How to set up OpenClaw agents that actually get better over time. My exact stack after 40 days. I'm seeing a lot of these posts of people saying how they're using OpenClaw. It's funny. I'm seeing a lot of overlap in like when you read through what they're doing and you compare it to somebody else. There's a lot of overlap in terms of the best techniques. There's such rapid building and code that's being developed to secure it and to improve the performance. It's insane. This is next level. Linux, Facebook, OpenClaw. Uh, really exciting. Look at that. How to set up OpenClaw agents that actually get better over. Oh, that one's already. Claude Cowork, the definitive setup guide. So this was a guide on using Claude Cowork, not OpenClaw, but Claude. I need to go through this. I've not spent enough time on Claude Cowork. Maybe this weekend. I doubt it. This was cool. I'm actually going to probably wind up playing with one of the null claws or the Pico claws. These guys, again, out of China, real smart, smallest fully autonomous AI assistant infrastructure, a Zig binary that fits on a $5 board. I want to start playing with these tiny. Yeah, so here's Pico Claw. Here's Nanobot. That was the one. Nanobot, Zero Claw. I think I mentioned these in the past. I forget. But like, yeah, like the fact that you can do this locally. Again, the LLMs are external. You're still hitting an API call for your LLM. That cost is still there. But what excites me about this is, and I can envision this I'm using this in a team of other agents, such as OpenAI, not Open, such as Crew AI, and Agent Zero, working with those agents together, having them collaborate with different skills, with different options and different missions, quite frankly. This is interesting. I really want to see what is possible here. Because if the users are that small and they are, if you put them in connection with a good LLM, they could be a really small, worker, so to speak, with a specific skill. And then you're just not, you can run dozens of them in a virtual machine. That's why I'm interested in where this is going to go. Because you just you don't need that. I don't want that. Um, yeah, we'll see. OpenClaw is a beast, but 90% of its users are bleeding money because they're missing this. So again, just some instructions and guidance on how to do that. Anatomy of OpenClaw guide after which you will build agents differently. A lot of these tools. Riley Brown, who's also worth following, he created the video below in 2 prompts with no asset uploads, scraped or generated everything from a text prompt. Mute this. Video editor, dashboards. Yeah. And that was all in a skill. OpenClaw plus Codex, Claude Code, Agent Swarm, one-person dev team. This is important to pay attention to. This architecture right here is kind of what I've got in the background, I gotta tell you. I don't have all of this, but this is impressive. This army of OpenClaw agents runs an entire company for $400 a month. Core, research, content, design, development, growth, operations. There you go. Is it perfect? No. But is it a proof of concept? Absolutely. The OpenClaw ecosystem is exploding, and this person mapped the key players actually gaining traction. I thought this was, I don't know many of these. But, Virus Total, Iron Claw, like this is important here. I didn't know that this existed until I saw this. Kilo Code, I know, Toggle, X, Exoclaw, Agent Browser. Yeah. Pico Claw. Poke. Interesting. Okay, into some of the research. Skills bench, benchmarking how well agent skills work across diverse tasks. Again, this is the, stuff we have to pay attention to because this is human work. Switch to Claude without starting over. So this is, I mentioned earlier in the beginning, just the import memory into Claude. Qwen 3.5 models. Very big video reasoning suite. What was this? I forget. I mentioned earlier that video reasoning is really important. The Allen AI research, that paper, that model. So more of this. How well does agent development reflect real world work? We reveal substantial mismatches between agent development that tends to be programming centric and the categories in which human labor and economic value are concentrated. Within work areas that agents currently target, we further characterize current agent utility by measuring their autonomy levels, providing practical guidance for agent interaction strategies across work scenarios. So yeah, pay attention to this. Pliny the Liberator, who is the guy that jailbreaks every single LLM. He's introduced Obliteratus. I think that's how to pronounce that. So he's got a tool that will help take any open weights model and free it. Definitely worth paying attention to. Yuan 3.0 Ultra. This is another LLM mixture of experts, another architecture with a bunch of other things that we need to pay attention to. Do LLMs benefit from their own words? We identify instances of context pollution in which models overcondition on their previous responses, introducing errors, hallucinations, or stylistic artifacts that propagate across turns. Motivated by these findings, we design a context filtering approach that selectively omits assistant side context. Our findings suggest that selectively omitting assistant history can improve response quality while reducing memory consumption. This has been hypothesized for a while because when you're dealing with the multi-turn context window that grows, they're saying they figured out a way to filter the stuff we don't need, and that improves the response. I think this is fantastic. I have not really read through this paper, but yeah, it's worth paying attention to. Again, Alibaba, I mentioned this earlier. I think I mentioned Qwen 3.5. What was this? Oh, a good article. I understand AI capabilities again. If we could measure this. Oh, so this is a woman who works at Meta, and she underestimated her results. If we could measure this, I'd guess by the end of the year, AI agents will have a time horizon of over 100 hours on the sorts of software tasks in Meta's suite. Um, yeah. So she underestimated her predictions. Instead of it being, I think it was like, what did she say? It was like a few hours. Um, Now we're up to greater than 100. 24 hours was the median guess. Yeah. How to force your agent to obey your design system. Steal this 5-layer setup. So design, reusable components, interaction. So there you go. Design systems. NeuroSkill Pro, active real-time agentic system capable of modeling human state of mind. Modeling the human state of mind. I'm freaking out. That's my human state of mind. Mission control. I've talked about the orchestration layers and the governance layers. So this is another one. Manage agent fleets, task tracks. I built my own. Just to be clear, it almost looks identical to this because I prompted it. But yeah, more of those are important. Paperclip, another more orchestration. I'm not going to reload this, but more research, more code for the orchestration layer. What was this? What was this? LangWatch. Oh, so this is another build reliable AI agents with simulations. Cognitive agent memory, how we build cognitive memory for agentic systems. Again, I've talked about how we want the continuous learning component, and right now we're using this fantastic proxy of the hard drive to store the memory events in a markdown file. That's our current proxy. Xcode now has Claude if you're a Mac developer. Next version of Claude Code, new skills, simplify and batch, so you can improve the code quality and you can automate code migrations in parallel. Where are we? One engineer made a production SaaS product in an hour. Here's the governance system that made it possible. I've talked about GaaS, governance as a service. You need to have that governance layer in place to make sure that everything is going to work properly. Go build it. Yeah, good information there. How to kill the code review, a good article. Was again, I've talked about this, that humans should not be writing code and humans should not be reading code anymore. That caused a lot of my friends to get very upset with me in WhatsApp. And it's like, no, AI, humans need to. No, we're past that. Training neural networks on Apple's neural engine, back propagation on Apple's neural engine. What was this? This was really important. Um, Proof of concept for A&E training, private APIs, set of benchmarks. So like, what was this? So we could just do more on the Apple hardware. I think that's what this was. I remember seeing this. I'm like, ooh, that's important, and I added it to the list. What was this? Google's AI Studio, Gemini 3.5. Oh, I mentioned this earlier. So developer guide and use cases. So if you're deving with that, that's great. Raycast Glaze, another create any desktop app in minutes by chatting with AI. Yeah, that's good. I use Cursor for everything right now, so I'm not sure if this is what this has got, you know, legs, but again, somebody building an experiment is really smart. I love seeing that. Agency agents, a complete AI agency for your fingertips, from front-end wizards to Reddit community ninjas. Each agent is a specialized expert with personality processes and proven deliverables. Yep, more of these agentic harnesses. Let me go back a slide. Hold on. Was there something else in here? Yeah, this was it. Engineering division, design division, marketing division, product division, project management, testing, support, spatial computing, specialized division. Come on. These are just these are just prompts, man. Unbelievable. Here's the prompt for the marketing content creator. Core capabilities, specialized skills, decision frameworks, success metrics. This is what you tell it to do, and you give it probably some sub agents here with the tools that it needs to build it. Yeah, love it. There's lots of these, by the way. And whatever you do, if you do choose to look at one of those things, don't just download it and start using it blindly, because there could be some poison pill inside of that. You must read every single line. Use it for emotional, like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to write my own. All right. Oh, this was really good. Google Workspace, command line interface. This just ruined my weekend, because it has been a pain in the butt to give my agents access to their email and Google Drive and all this other stuff. They now just did. They just freaking released it. I haven't played with this yet. Oh, so maybe that's not the page. But yeah, this is going to be insane. I think this is going to change a lot of people's agents. There's an OpenClaw. Somebody had built a version of this for OpenClaw, but and somebody they'll compare. There's going to be a race for this, but the fact that Google's releasing their own, that's important. Um, oh, and this is the other thing that as Google changes their own stuff, it has the directory service so that it'll build the entire command surface dynamically. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. What was impeccable? Design fluency for AI harnesses. Yeah. Normalize, polish, optimize, harden. This is this was hard for me to see, because this is good. Audit, critique, harden. I mean, normalize, optimize, polish, make it bolder, quieter, adapt. This is beautiful. This is absolutely fantastic. These are the harnesses, these are the frameworks that I keep telling people that we need to pay attention to. And this looks simple. This looks simple. Absolutely incredible. And it's, open source. Improving skill creator, test, measure, and refine agent skills. Again, this is from Claude, talking about their skills, and their capabilities. Build agents that, so this is from Cursor that they just released today. Build agents that run automatically. This is basically Cursor saying, we see you, OpenClaw. We call and we raise, because Cursor is one of the primary tools that people are developing in. And I've used Cursor not just to develop code in, but to do anything in. Now they're saying, we're going to OpenClaw, we're going to do this. I think that this is going to be very interesting. Always on agents. That's going to be. But the other thing that's going to happen here is I think it's just going to burn through tokens like there's no tomorrow. That might be a big opportunity for Cursor to branch into this type of always on. But this was just announced today. I've not played with it. LangChain blog, evaluating skills, because we need to evaluate the skills, make sure that they're doing what we want. The folks over at LangChain are doing that. What was this? He had a cost estimate. Oh, this was a cost estimate skill prompt that he gave. It's interesting. Isomorphic Labs drug design engine unlocks a new frontier beyond AlphaFold. AI is hiding. Oh, this was the Jeffrey Hinton thing. Can coding agents become engineers? We're finding out. Ramp Economics Lab, interactive data sets. Ramp Advertising Index. Measurement on the number of businesses increasing or decreasing advertising spend. That's interesting. Andre Karpathy, the architecture of the future. I think I've shown versions of this in the past. CEO, CFO, CTO, COO, general counsel, security VP of engineering, chief scientist, and the multiple engineering people, principal engineers. There you go. And again, like, I want to clarify, these are agents. Netflix just bought Interpositive, which is Ben Affleck's company. And from weeks ago, Ben Affleck complaining that AI is slop, it's bad. And now he goes ahead and creates an AI company. And I think and it just merged, it was just bought out by Netflix. Oh, the great hypocrisy. I wish him well. I think he's onto something. I'm glad that he was able to pull something together to bring agentic AI and these automations for the artist, for the creator, for Netflix, that does not replace the creator. That's his mission. I completely support him on that. But he did say some things that were kind of like, I disagree with. VFX destroyed digital VFX, computer animation destroyed many jobs in Hollywood. Okay. So I don't know how to navigate that. I'm done. What was this? Luma agents, creative agents that make you prolific. You set the direction, they build with you. Seeing what you see and helping teams explore further, iterate faster, and watch ideas multiply. This is this is the tool for the chief marketing officer. Let it go. Gartner, this is good news. There will be no job apocalypse due to AI, but there will be job chaos. I'm not sure what the difference is, but this is a really good graph. Jobs gained. Okay. If this is correct, and I pray it is, we need to figure out what the skills are for these gained jobs. Human in the loop, building agents, taste, supervision. What is it? That's the opportunity. I love seeing stuff like this. It proves me wrong that there's not going to be a job apocalypse. Amazon does cut more jobs, this time in the robotics unit. Yeah. The Block layoff are just the beginning. I talked to one of the laid off Block employees. He gave me a sobering warning. So this is a good Business Insider article. What was this? U.S. Department of Labor announces $145 million in funds supporting the performance-based registered apprenticeship expansion across key industry sectors. So good, where the government is investing in this. Anthropic's labor market impacts of AI, a new measure and early evidence. This was just published today. We introduced a new measure of AI displacement risk. AI is far from reaching its theoretical capability. Actual coverage remains a fraction of what's feasible. And what's important, I don't know if they have a big version of this graph, but I'll zoom in on this. Hold on. I want you to pay attention to this. Oh, geez. This diagram right here. The observed AI coverage is the small red. The theoretical AI coverage is the larger blue. What's important here is the fact that they are observing a smaller amount of displacement than what is theoretically possible. So what does that mean? It means that the AI is not good enough. It means that it's not being adopted. It's not being deployed properly. I don't know. It's not clear to me. I haven't read this, by the way. I need to read this. But this difference is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for people to fill the gap. It's also an opportunity for AI companies to figure out how to get the red out to the blue. As the red goes out to the blue, we need to pay attention to how fast that's happening, because that's replacement effects. And we find limited evidence that AI has affected unemployment so far. Great news. But there are early signs that hiring of younger workers has slowed. Well, actually, the younger workers, there's the canary in a coal mine paper that already proves that. So yeah, effect on unemployment. Yep. I wonder what happened here. Oh, COVID. What else? And this is the last one. So we had 24,000 tech layoffs in February. Again, Block's 4,000 layoffs. That was the big one. The last one, I mean. And so far, not much in March. And on that, I want to say thank you all. I'm going to stop the recording. Please do hang out for some overtime. And I hope this was fun and enjoyable. I know it was long. And I'll see you next week.